The thing is this. This dude is on record. Like I said, it's on record of how much this dude is a Nazi sympathizer. So that's the truth. So these companies ultimately are going to get off on this. Nothing's going to happen to Adidas with all of this. They let this dude run rampant. He was going crazy. He was like a kid in a candy store. He was getting whatever he want. He was acting crazy. He was forcing people to watch pornographic stuff for inspiration, quote unquote, because he had a pornographic addiction. And it was just a lot of wild stuff. But this is what creators do, man. A lot of the biggest geniuses and creators of our time, and yes, I am going to put him in that. And all of this I'm saying, which is mostly bad, he is a genius and he is a creator that is like no other that we've ever seen. And even the person, one of the close executives in this whole situation said it with this quote. He is not just a lightning rod. He is an incredible force of nature who has colored an entire generation, said Bobby Kim, author and co-founder of The Hundreds, a men's streetwear brand. So, he's an executive of his own brand. Excuse me. I kind of, boofed that. But that's the point. Everyone knows this. Everyone knows how he is a lightning rod. He is this controversial figure, but he is a genius at what he does. And that is create. Everywhere he's gone, everything he's touched, whether it's music or whether it's fashion, he has elevated it in a way that hasn't been seen or done before that captivated the masses. So we got to give the guy we got to give the villain his due in some respect. Yeah, is he an arrogant bastard? Yeah, it is what it is. Facts are the facts. Another really interesting point in this article was, on his way out of the company, when he started to ask for even more demands and more requirements and things that he was unhappy with or whatnot that would make him more happy. The stuff that he would always do. He would always come to the meetings with listen, I would give him credit for one thing. He definitely was coming to every single meeting on the re-up with the gun. This is just a figure of speech, but he was coming with a gun to Adidas' head every single time. And every time he will stick him up and Adidas would pay him and give him what he wanted. But I think what happened ultimately, I'm going to get to this point real quick from the article. But what I was saying is ultimately, I think he just went to the well too much. He just kept going and going and going and prodding and poking. He did as much as possible. It was like, man, I can't get in trouble for nothing. They really not going to fire me. He's even said this, like saying something about, he could say anti-Semitic things and Adidas couldn't fire him. And at the time, they still weren't doing it because he was so financially linked to them and their bottom line as far as their stock and everything. Yeezy brand is to this day still really important to them because they took a financial nosedive after they cut ties with the guy. So now to the article. Mr. West had already listed more requirements. This is on the re-up on his way out. $1 billion in advance. Yeah, he won a $1 billion advance now. And he said 15% split of whatever KW touches. This is more stuff. Introductions to the heads of factories. Now he want the connections to the factories that make all the clothes. Now he wants that, which is probably more valuable than everything, the money. So let me continue. The heads of the factories. Then he became infuriated when he couldn't speak immediately to Mr. Rorston. I'm no longer asking for things that are owed that I am in charge of, he wrote into the Adidas executives. This relationship dynamic changes now. He probably stomped his foot after he said that. So this dude, let's be clear, on the re-up, now, because he's used to this. Every time he's used to going on the re-up, taking the gun out, and sticking up Adidas every single time. But this time he just went too far. This is probably ultimately what cut ties. Yeah, I know all the anti-Semitic stuff was really, really bad, but we still gonna keep him around. But then once he started asking for all of this, they was like, all right, we gotta cut ties, nigga. We gotta cut ties. You gots to go. But once he did that, that was it. It was a wrap for him. Asking for $1 billion advance. That's just $1 billion for me to just blow. And you know what? I want 15% of more things. And on top of that, I want you to put me onto all your contacts so I can print my own stuff on the side. And then he thought that that was acceptable. Like, honestly, had he had kept up great behavior 6 years ago from 2013 to 2019, if his behavior was good and he acted like an adult and not, like I said, a spoiled, narcissistic, petulant child who was a Nazi sympathizer, if he didn't act like that, he probably would have got all of this. He probably would have got as outrageous as that sounded. I mean, he asked for everything except for a board seat. So this is probably better than that. If you want extreme wealth, this is the starter kit for that. And he probably would have got all of this if he didn't act like what I just said. This dude literally kamikazed himself. Self-destruction 101. Kanye West.